24 people have resigned, CEOs, members of government worldwide. But I haven't seen any arrests or investigations here in the United States from this Department of Justice. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who has since been stripped of his royal titles due to his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested. Peter Mandelson, who previously served as UK's ambassador to the United States, resigned in disgrace from United Kingdom's House of Lords and the Labour Party, and he's been arrested. Former Prime Minister of Norway, Torbjorn Jagland, has been charged. But we don't see any charges, arrests, or investigations in the United States. What do we see? We see our FBI director celebrating in the locker room at the Olympics overseas. It's fine to be proud of this country, but we should be proud of this country because we have a system of justice that works. And yet we do not. Who are the men that should be investigated? I'll name them right here. Leon Black. You don't even have to see past the redactions to see that this man needs to be investigated. Jess Staley, accused of terrible things. It's right there in the files. Why is he not being investigated? And Leslie Wexner. Why did the FBI list him as a co-conspirator in their own documents in a child sex trafficking case, and then tell him, according to him, that they had no questions for him? Why is that? Well, the Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ and the FBI to disclose to us their internal memos and emails about how they made those decisions, whether to prosecute or not prosecute. Yet they have not delivered those memos. And we still don't have the memos and documents and emails from 2008 to explain why Jeffrey Epstein was given such a light sentence in what would have been an open and shut case of child sex trafficking, which allowed him to go back and recommit these terrible crimes, create hundreds of more victims, and ensnare so many other people in his conspiracy.
Country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand. Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo, country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months.
Trump is a low-life fucking piece of shit. He don't give a shit about you. He don't give a shit about me. He don't give a shit about anybody in this fucking country. He's all fucking full of shit. To save face, he is going to fucking spill blood. He's got 50,000 troops, warplanes, warships, ready to pounce on fucking Iran. He is going to spill blood to get us to forget about the GDP, the fucking unemployment fucking numbers, the inflation, and what went down on these fucking tariffs. Who knows how much fucking money that's gonna cost the taxpayers from his fucking blunder. And now he's willing to spill fucking blood. Iranian blood, and I'm scared shit that'll be American blood. There's 50,000 troops there. You stupid fucks who gave him this fucking power. You stupid bastards. What you did will never fucking be forgiven.
In his speech tonight, the president did what he always does. He lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted. And he offered no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which he is actively making worse. He tries to divide us. He tries to enrage us, to pit us against one another, neighbor against neighbor. And sometimes he succeeds. And so you have to ask, who benefits from his rhetoric, his policies, his actions, the short list of laws he's pushed through this Republican Congress? Somebody must be benefiting. He's enriching himself, his family, his friends. The scale of the corruption is unprecedented. There's the cover-up of the Epstein files, the crypto scams, cozying up to foreign princes for airplanes and billionaires for ballrooms, putting his name and face on buildings all over our nation's capital. This is not what our founders envisioned, not by a long shot.
I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakakwadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well, which taught us the truth in Shalom, to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, Wa Abba Babal. So we're living in a time of prophecy coming to pass, and we're living in the last days of the Edomite, the so-called white race, and their reign of terror. All right, because they're the wicked and they have corrupted the world and weakened the nations. They have the Israelites in slavery and they're losing control. And this is why they're coming down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. And they have set up the cruel Lord spoken in Isaiah 19, which is Nero 47, prophesied by Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai through his elect men, that this would happen. The downfall of the wicked's kingdom, all right, would come at his own hands, tearing it down. All right. It says in Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt, which this is talking about America, the spiritual Egypt. Look at the back of the dollar. Look at the obelisk in your communities. They're always at the government's buildings as monuments, which represent Egypt. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, which they report of so-called UFOs, concentrated sightings here in America, which is Babylon the Great. It says, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, which these politicians are idols. All right. When you go to give your vote, the word vote goes back to devotion. All right. And they're leading you to destruction. It says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, because Babylon the great whore, aka America, is going to lose World War III according to biblical prophecy. Yahweh is going to send his son Yahushai to save his Israelites that he has chosen, the elect, and with him comes the nuclear destruction of Babylon the great whore. America is going to lose World War III, which its allies and enemies are going to hate the whore, starting with NATO, and they're going to use nuclear missiles on the whore. The whore is America. And that's according to biblical prophecy. It says in verse 2 of Isaiah 19, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. If you watch the lady at the end, she says that Nero 47 has set brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, Egyptian against Egyptian, which is really talking about these Americans. And they shall fight every one against his brother and every one against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. The kingdom against kingdom is World War III, which America is going to lose that war according to biblical prophecy after they make the implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling, which they just came out and said that they're going to implement FedNow this year, 2026, which they're going to go digital, and they're going to require you to have a digital wallet to hold the digital currency, which will be an implantable microchip, which will condemn the Israelite that accepts it to the nuclear destruction of Babylon the Great that are here in America. And we've been giving you warning by the spirit of prophecy of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And if you don't take heed, your blood is upon your own head. All right. But if you take heed, the reason you're taking heed is the Lord is dealing with you to repent so that he could save you when his son returns. It's all design. It's all by design. All right. That all these things happen. And it's according to biblical prophecy. The Bible is the word of the Almighty Yahweh, and it speaks of his son Yahushai. And he has a holy people, the Israelites, and out of them come holy prophets. All right. It says in Isaiah 19:3, and the spirit of Egypt, which is slavery, they have all the 12 tribes enslaved in America, shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. The counsel is the way things were ran, right, according to their democracy, the two horns, the Republican and the Democrat. But now they're speaking as a dragon, all right, which they're coming down with draconian law. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, which you have false prophets, you have warlocks and witches, all right, deceiving the people, all right, whether it's Drake and his McDonald's deal to Nicki Minaj and her Narrow 47 deal, right, whether it's Jay-Z and his casino deal, whether it's P. Diddy and his deal, whether it's, all these stumbling blocks that are set up to deceive the people, and the people they're trying to deceive are the Israelites, which are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians of North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbeans, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. All right? And we're coming to the end of our slavery, and we know because we're remembering ourselves and calling upon our power, Yahweh, and his son Yahushai will save us. And Esau and the other nations are seeing it, and they're scrambling. That's why you see all these things happening. They're scrambling. They know that they're at their end, and their only answer is to come down with a great sword. All these things in the news, like Iran, everything, it's all biblical prophecy. All right. And even the false reports, all right, every bit of it is all part of the prophecies that there would be deception. Yahushua told his apostles, take heed that no man deceive you. According to the prophecy, take heed. All right, because we have a sure word of prophecy, and you would do well if you took heed as an Israelite. Pay attention. Isaiah 19 verse 4, and the Egyptians, the Americans, will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord. The cruel lord is Nero 47. I just played you all those videos of the complaints. And those are the people that work right beside him, right? It says, and a fierce king shall rule over them, which he's trying to make war with everybody. Right, which is going to lead into a World War III, which is already set up, but it's going to end. The ending of World War III is going to be a nuclear destruction, and it's going to be Babylon the Great, who is turned into a lake of fire because it's a great whore. It says, and the fierce king shall rule over them, Nero 47, saith Yahweh of hosts. All right, which he's eventually going to allow this place to be destroyed, all right, in nuclear fire, according to the prophecies. Isaiah 19 and 5, and the waters shall fail from the sea, which there will be no more sea, being America and its sea of people, which they called it a melting pot, which you had all these different nations and all their religions in one spot. All right, this is why it's also known as Babylon the Great, the land of confusion. The Lord's going to sweep it from the earth by nuclear missiles, and he's going to put it in the hearts of men, the heathen that are confederate with the wicked, and they're going to, as it says in Revelation 17, eat the whore of this flesh. Eat the flesh of the whore. And the river shall be wasted and dried up, and it's going to be left a desert. Babylon the Great is going to be a desert of brimstone. All right. After it's a lake of fire, it's going to smoke for a long time, and then it's going to eventually just be a dried up desert with pools of water and desert creatures. No man will ever live in what you know as America after the judgment of the great whore. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wa ba ba bom.